Not just for a second, but for minutes, perhaps an hour. Utterly still, a liquid pool of patience on a windowsill, staring intently at a distant sparrow. They seem perfectly comfortable in the suspension, embodying a stillness that most humans find impossible to maintain. For us, 5 minutes of doing nothing feels like a stretch. 10 minutes is an eternity, and 15 is practically torture. We reach for our phones, fidget, or start pacing. But for the cat, that long wait is just part of the process. This stark difference raises a fundamental question. Why does waiting feel so vastly different to a cat than it does to us? It isn't just about temperament. It is about a deeply ingrained divergence in how our two species perceive the very fabric of existence we call time. Humans, especially in the modern world, experience time as a steady, measured flow. We live by minutes, schedules, deadlines, and appointments. Our existence is segmented by clocks. We track duration, the elapsed time between two events, and judge our productivity, or lack thereof, based on how those minutes are spent. If the clock hand doesn't move fast enough, we feel that restless friction, that internal pressure telling us we are wasting precious time. But cats? They simply do not experience time this way. A cat does not look at the sun and think, "It is 4:30 p.m., time for dinner." Instead of tracking duration, the cat's mind is primarily tuned to track changes in their immediate environment. Their internal clock is reset, not by a schedule, but by sensory input. To understand this, we need to delve into the biological mechanism that structures their reality. Cats possess highly sensitive senses, and crucially, a much faster rate of perceptual updates than humans. Think of it like frames per second in a video game. The average human eye and brain processes visual information at a rate that allows us to perceive fluid motion, typically around 50 to 60 frames per second. Cats, however, are believed to perceive updates much faster, perhaps up to 100 frames per second, or even higher in certain contexts. Their brains are fundamentally tuned to notice the smallest movements, the faintest rustles, and the subtle shifts in light and shadow changes that our relatively sluggish human senses often filter out entirely. This means that a cat's experience of the present moment is more finely segmented. Their reality is a rapid succession of distinct, high-definition moments, stitched together by change, rather than a continuous, smooth flow of elapsed time. Scientific observations support the idea that cats can detect subtle environmental changes with astonishing speed. Because their sensory systems are constantly refreshing information at such a rapid rate, a period of stillness does not register in the same stressful way it does for a human. When a cat is waiting, even if the scene appears static to us, they are likely receiving a continuous stream of minor sensory updates. The vibration of the floor, the drift of an air current, the subtle change in scent. These tiny changes are enough to keep their highly tuned nervous system engaged and centered in the moment, making the wait feel less like an empty void and more like sustained observation. But why did this rapid processing speed and unique temporal perception evolve in the first place? The answer lies in their history as apex predators. Cats are, at their core, ambush hunters. In the wild, energy conservation is paramount. A lion, a cheetah, or even a domestic house cat cannot afford to waste energy chasing every potential meal. Survival depends on the ability to remain completely invisible, often for extremely long periods, until the perfect, precise moment arrives. This evolutionary pressure shaped a nervous system where waiting patiently while conserving every calorie was not just effective, it was critical for survival. The nervous system that allowed the cat to remain motionless, yet completely alert, was selected for. For a cat, waiting is not stressful. It is the natural, effective state leading up to action. The restless pacing we exhibit when bored is antithetical to their inherited hunting strategy. This leads directly to the behavioral outcome we observe every day. Because of their specialized biology and evolutionary history, cats naturally spend the vast majority of their time in a state of suspended animation, sleeping, resting, or observing. These long periods of inactivity are punctuated by sudden, precise, and explosive bursts of action. Their behavior is a direct reflection of a time perception where continuous, steady action is unnecessary and wasteful. Instead, the focus is entirely on intention and efficiency. The cat is always ready, but they are never rushed. When they finally move, it is not because a certain duration has passed on an internal clock, but because the environment has provided the essential cue to change that triggers the hunt. So the next time you watch your cat staring at a wall for 20 minutes without moving, remember, they are not bored. They are simply existing in a different temporal reality. While you are anxiously measuring the minutes, they are expertly segmenting the moment, waiting, perfectly content for reality to give them the next cue. It's a profound lesson in presence, taught by a creature whose very survival depends on living purely in the now. Thanks for watching. Cats don't rush through time. If that feels familiar, welcome to the Gentle Why.